Kevin Kogan. Oh, and we have the leader spinning. Mario Andretti hits the wall in turn number 1. What happened? Did he bump something, or did the wing just fly off?
No, I think he possibly might have blown a tire. It was right here on the front stretch, and I think what happened is when it did, it took the rear wing off of it. It looked to be a very, very nasty accident. Could have unfolded, but as it looks like Mario is backed in very hard into the first turn wall and gone down into the inside of turn 1 now.
Boy, another tough break for Mario. This guy is he's unbelievably talented as a race driver, but things just seem to happen to him, and they are attending to him down there. The Horton medical team, safety team, is there over Mario, finding out if he is okay. Meanwhile, this creates another caution, and it allows the others to come in for a pit stop. Among them, Roberto Guerrero and Michael Andretti. And both crews working very hard on those cars, but Michael gets out first. They're still working on Guerrero's car. Now he begins to move away also. Well, a tough break from Mario Andretti. You can see that he is still in the car, and they are trying to remove him from the cockpit. What happened apparently was a tire blew on the machine and knocked the rear wing off, and when you have no rear wing, you just can't hardly control the car. Let's take a look at it.
Maybe we can see it here, because he's down here on the inside of the track, and there was a loud bang that we could hear from up here in the booth. Oh, no, it's a rear wing, just comes right off the car and jumps up in the air. And as you can see, Mario's got his hands full. That takes a lot of the downforce off the back of the car. And you can see where he's going to make his initial impact here. Very hard into the outside retaining wall. Possibly have stunned him or knocked him out. And he's sliding along here, and it does end up coming to rest against the inside concrete wall.
So it was not a problem with the tire at all, but rather just a rear wing blew off. Here it is again.
It's a very, very loud bang as it did, which led me to believe that it had, blown tire, but it did. It broke the rear wing right off the. You can see that the mounting bracket is still there and everything. In fact, that's Fabrizio Barbaza that ran over some of the debris, and it's right there in front of Ari Leindijk, and he does a good job of missing that. In fact, Mario had just lapped Ari again, I think putting maybe 2 laps down at that point before the accident happened.
So Mario Andretti, while leading the race, crashes in the first turn. Let's go to Gary.
We are standing here just inside this brand new concrete retaining wall where the car has come to a rest. They're now extricating Mario. They first put the backboard into the cockpit, which has been specially designed to slide in between the back of the cockpit and the driver. They now have another longer brace on top of the car. They have extricated Mario. He's now lying prone on that. The ambulance is here. One of the concerned spectators at this point is one of his car owners, Paul Newman, who was here this weekend, ran down here. He was one of the first to the crash scene, and as you can see, they now have him on the gurney. The ambulance is standing by, and our view now has been obscured somewhat by some of the crew members who are also standing by. They are now locking the neck, which is customary in any type of an injury of this nature. He is talking to the rescue squad right now. So Mario making a fist with both hands. He has been asked to do that by the medical crew. They're checking to see if there's any other damage. He is moving his legs on his own, and he is able to talk. So right now he is conscious, he is talking, he is moving, which obviously in a crash like this are some very good signs. The Horton medical crew is here. They have a medical facility, the finest of any medical facility of its nature in the country, standing by in the infield. He will be taken there first, we would suspect, and if need be transferred on downtown. So that is the situation right now inside the first turn against this new concrete retaining wall as the attention continues to be centered around Mario Andretti.
Yeah, we had not mentioned the new inner retaining wall that Mario struck. Secondly, the Milwaukee Mile has always had a steel guardrail on the inside all the way around it, but they did replace that with the concrete barriers in the corners just earlier this week, and certainly it was something that Mario came in contact with, but I think everybody agrees that these concrete barriers are much safer than the steel guardrails.
Well, they certainly are. The steel Armco guardrails have a habit, if you get into them, other than perfectly. And in this condition with Mario and then Speedy was running, it probably wouldn't have made any difference. He'd backed into it. But if you catch it a certain way, it'll grab the wheels and tires and suspension pieces and can actually tear the car up worse and even make it to where you can do damage to the driver because of that. Where with the concrete, it lets the car absorb the impact that it is supposed to do, so that it does its job. And I think that it's a big improvement here for the Wisconsin State Fair, and to do that and to make this a finer race facility.
Well, we must pay tribute to the Horton safety team. They are among the most professional rescuers in the business. Steve Edwards is the safety director for championship auto racing teams. Dr. Steve Albee is the physician. They are always very prompt on the scene of any accident involving an IndyCar. Bobby Rahal, we understand, is also in the pits as they're changing the rubber all around that car and putting the final drops of fuel in, probably because we only have 45 more laps to go. And
it looks as though he's going with another fresh set of tires. I can see the sticker still on the right rear. In fact, you can see him now on all the tires. So he's come in to go for a fresh set of tires and try to go out and run Michael Andretti down, who is leading right now. And I'm sure that it's very much on his mind as to how his father is. But being a son myself of a race driver, I think that he realizes that it's part of the hazard, and that I'm sure his crew will radio him that Mario has been taken out of the car, and as soon as we know something, or sure the crew, they will get it to Michael so he can more or less get back to the point of hand, and that's driving his Preco special.
Well, it certainly is of utmost importance for him to keep his mind on the race itself, because he is leading and in a very good position to walk off as the winner of this 200-miler here in Milwaukee. Back after this. We'll go back to racing in just a moment. The field is on the backstretch. Next time they come around, they will get the green. Here is Mario's crash that we'll have Pancho talk about it.
Well, Mario's just past Fabrizio Barbaza, and there the rear wing breaks off, and Fabrizio hits it, and you can see Mario starting to turn into the corner, loses the downforce in the back end, and starts to spin, trying everything he can do to keep the car off the wall, but it does hit very hard on the outside turn one wall. It looks as though it guides itself right on down and hits again pretty solidly into the inside wall there, as you can see. And hopefully Mario is not injured. It's a similar type accident to what happened to Dennis Firestone in Indianapolis, and he did end up with a couple fractured vertebrae. And maybe Gary Lee has something he can report to us from down in the infield.
Well, I have standing by Steve Albee, the CART medical director. Mario was not removed from the ambulance to go inside the Horton unit here. He was transferred on downtown. What are the extent of the injuries?
Okay, Mario, Gary, is awake and alert. He has no apparent injuries now, but because of the angle in which he came in contact with the wall, there's a risk of a cervical spine fracture or back fracture. So rather than move him and risk doing any harm if there is a fracture, we've sent him directly to the hospital for precautionary x-rays. We do not expect that there's a problem.
Obviously very uncharacteristic for Mario Andretti. Only once in his illustrious career has he missed a race, and only one race because of an injury. Bob?
All right, thank you, Gary, and thank you, Dr. Steve Albee, for the update on Mario. And the news sounds good, but naturally you want to take every precaution that you possibly can to make sure that there are no injuries that aren't apparent right away, and that's why he is being transported downtown to a hospital in Milwaukee for further x-rays. His son...
Congratulations. Obviously a very bittersweet victory for Michael Andretti.
It really is. I just, when I saw Dad's car there and him in a stretcher, it just, I didn't know what to feel. But they say he's going to be all right, and, this one's for him.
Obviously, you got the word from the crew that there were no apparent injuries. He was taken on downtown for some precautionary examinations.